Hi guys, so I did get myself a fake AudioQuest Thunderbird RCA from AliExpress, and this will be a first look video on that cable. I'll take a look inside of the cable. I'll tell you everything we can see from the outside and from the inside, and there will be another video on sound quality when I'll finish my listening sessions. These are already brought in, and I've been using them for some tests for reviews of other Chinese equipment that I've already recorded, but I haven't reviewed them separately, and I haven't done any comparisons yet. So, as you can see, we have metal connectors. We'll take a look inside of the connector in a few minutes. The cable itself looks pretty real. It's every single lane is like 7.6 millimeter thick. Along the cable we have plastic holders that keep the cable together. These are actually neat and you can move them, slide them around the cable. Yes, the connectors are marked with arrows for directionality, and we have DBS system module connected on the cable. Now, before we take a look inside of the cable, from what I've seen on the web, from the photos of real cables, either sold by persons or shops, I'm not sure if the DBS on RCAs should be described with level X or not, because I've seen some photos of the cables that were looking very real, also on the shop pages, with this type of DBS. The other one looks exactly like this one, but it also has level X written in here under AQ letters. Okay, so that's for the outside. The cable looks real. There is a, this is for some damage, but as you can see, it's black braided with some blue lines. And the thing is that if you'll take a look at the photos on the web, it will look exactly like in this video that I'm recording right now, that these blue lines are clearly different than the black braid. But when I'm looking at this without the camera, they are not exactly dark blue, but they are not light blue either. But they are catching some light here for the video, and it looks good. Okay, so I took a look inside of the cable, but I also took a look on the Future Shop web page, and we have some information about the Thunderbird RCA that they took probably from the AudioQuest page. So we have the build of the plugs, and we have the box. The AliExpress cable comes without the box, and yes, we have some photos, and we have a diagram, because that's not a photo, of the internal build of the cable. So we would be expecting a couple of things. We would be expecting the internal wire to be made of copper. We would like to see the external insulation. Take notice that there is a space between the wire and the insulation, because this is actually air tube, so the cable should be loose inside of it. Then we would have two additional wires, one with red insulation, and it should be looking like it's spiraling around this tubing inside. And then we would have another thicker one, which looks like silver plated with copper core. And then we would have a couple of layers of black insulation, and the external insulation with braiding. These ones, the gray or silver layers here, I have no idea what is that, because it doesn't look like a shield, like a proper shield. I don't know what that is. So this is something that we would expect. So let's take a look at the cable that I've opened. Yeah, we'll talk about the plugs in a while. Now, we have internal copper core, solid core wires. We have Teflon, I think it's Teflon insulation. I don't know if it's actually a real Teflon, but the important thing is here that this actually is an air tube. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but the wire inside is loose. I can move it around. Yes, it's touching this isolation, but it's not. Oops, I've destroyed my pointer. Yeah, but this is definitely air tube here. Yeah, the difference, one difference that I can see here, but again, this is not a real photo. This is a 3D generated computer image. As you can see, one of the lines has this tubing transparent and the other one black. In the case of this cable, both of them are actually transparent. This black piece here is just a heat shrink, so don't look at that. Now let's take a look at the other end, because at this end I removed some of the insulation. Okay, and we'll switch from the pointer to the screwdriver. So we have thin wire in red isolation that's spinning around the air tube. Then we have the other wire here, which is silver plated copper. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, if the camera will be able to focus on that, but it's clearly copper inside and it has this silver shine on the outside. Yes, now for the layers inside, we have several black layers inside. Let's try to get, yeah, like that. Yeah, and there is something between these two. Let's try to get focus. Yeah, it looks like a mesh. Can you see that? It looks like a mesh or black braiding. It's not something that was present at this diagram, or maybe it was, but maybe it was not exactly drawn like a mesh from some small very fine braid, but maybe it was just drawn as a black layer. So anyway, we have several black layers. 1, 2, 3, something like 4 of them. When I'm looking inside here, I can actually see something looking like silver shield. Let's try to get camera focus. Please, 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 please. Can you see that? That small silver piece here. It looks like a shielding foil. Yeah, we see that now. Okay, so the cable looks very real, except for one difference. One of these should be black and one of these should be transparent. As long as this picture here represents the reality, because maybe that's just a model, maybe that's not how the real cable looks inside. So yes, it looks very, very real so far. Let's take a look at the plug. The plug should be built from 3 modules: the actual plug and the casing for the plug. What you'll see here, let's take a look at the plug at the beginning. We should have 2 connectors for wires. These are prepared to be cold welded, which means that they should not be soldered. They should be crimped. So the wire should be coming inside and then it should be crimped together. Let's take a look at the plug. Let's get a focus. We have two tubes exactly like on the diagram, but the wires are soldered inside. I don't know if we'll be able to focus on that. Pay attention to a couple of details. A hole here, a cutout at the end of the shielding, and this U-shaped cutout on the plug. And here we have U-shaped cutout, here we have hole, and here we have cuts in the plug. This is either silver or silver plated copper. As you can see, it started to go black around the edge that's accessible from the outside, which means that it's oxidizing, and silver oxidizes in black, so that's silver. Yeah, that's silver. Now let's take a look at the case. In this diagram we have some screws that are connecting the parts of the case. One screw at the top and 3 screws at the bottom. Okay, we do have screws, I've removed them. That would be the bottom, and we have 3 holes for 3 screws. It's metal, by the way, it's very solid. And yeah, the bottom and the bottom here. Let's take a look. It looks very similar, except for one difference. The difference is that since this is computer generated, the inside will not have the places from the form of the plug. These round places here. This is something that was not present on this picture, but we do have this positioning bolts, and we do have this I don't know how to say that in English, but these are meant to keep the cable in the place and do not let it move. So the plug looks real. The internal part of the plug and the external case looks real. However, take note that this is an official diagram from AudioQuest, and the screws are silver. However, when we'll take a look at the photo, the real photo of the cable, the screws are black. And this is exactly something that I've seen on some other photos of the cables being sold on the web. However, there's also one more important thing to notice here, the print. Okay, so let's take this one. No, that would be that one. Yeah, so let's compare exactly the same like here. Yeah, so I think the lettering is slightly more sharp on the photo. Yes, and maybe, just maybe, the arrow may be a little bit different on the photo. Just maybe. They are very, very similar. There's one more thing. Let's take a look here. The letters AQ on the plug here. On this photo, they do not look very sharp. They do not like they would have very sharp edges. And this is something we can see here. They are clear, but they do not have very sharp edges. However, when we'll take a look at set of Thunderbird photos from some guys selling the cable on the headphones community, we'll see that we'll see the black screws, yes, and we will see that probably the letters, the AQ letters, should be slightly more pronounced, slightly sharper. You see that? But again, this may be just the photo. The original cable comes with, I guess, something that's probably a serial number. And we have something like that. On one of the casings, we see serial number 101487. So, if these are copies, then the number should be the same for all of them. If they are real, the numbers should be different. If they are using the original toolset, if they are using original production line, then the numbers should be different. Yes. What else? When I'm looking at these photos, let's take this one for example. I'm not sure about the Thunderbird, the print and the name. I guess, but again, these may be just the photo differences that I'm trying to find, although they do not exist. Maybe the original on the photos will have these letters a little bit sharper. Yeah, so the plugs definitely look real to me. I may be looking hard for the things that are not there. By the way, take a look at that. They are matching perfectly. Yeah, so this is something very good. And what else? What else? So again, the difference in colors. This may come from the fact that either the diagram is wrong, or the other option, that these were made from the same roll of one line of the cable, if you know what I mean. That somebody got hold on the roll of the cable with transparent insulation here and use that for both lanes. The plugs definitely look real. This is silver or pure or silver plated because it's getting oxidized in black. And DBS modules to work. They do work, they did work. Wow, that's something new. Oh yeah, I'll have to take a look at this one because I was checking them when I bought the cable and they were both fine. So maybe batteries died. They should not die because they should be quite new. Yeah, the cable looks real. It sounds good. It sounds so good that I am using it in my reviews. But I didn't have the time to take a critical listening session on the cable alone to compare that cable with other cables in my possession and to decide whether this is very good, really good, or good, or just good. Yeah. Also, the fake cable had a piece of plastic insulation tape placed here to keep the wires together. And now I'll replace that insulation tape and I'll close the plugs. So that's it for now. If you have any observations about the cable, if you've seen the real one, if you've seen the fake ones, if you can add anything to my description and my review, please do so in the comments. If I forgot to cover something, if I forgot to mention something or check something, also do ask me in the comments. As for the DPS, as far as I can see, it's connected properly. Yeah, according to the patent data that you can find on the web, because DBS patents are available freely, and you can read the white papers and you can learn how does it actually works. How does it actually work? Sorry. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this small video. Stay tuned for full review. As I wrote a couple of days ago, I will be getting back to the roots, so I won't be reviewing only amplifiers and preamplifiers, but I also do, I will do again reviews on the speaker cables, on interconnects that you can source from China. Probably fake ones, but maybe not, because they sound good. Okay, so thank you, have a great day, stay tuned for more. Bye guys.